I hope I am audible to all of you. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, India's premier online test prep platform for all UG exams. So today is a great day and I hope you people are doing great. New session has just started and I believe you all are excited to know about IPMAT, BBA and CUET exams. Of course, in CUET we don't have an option. We have to write the CUET exam. So there is nothing much we can do about it. But as far as the other exams are concerned, definitely this is going to be a real game changer for us. So all of you who are actually eyeing to write the IPMAT exam or the BBA exam next year, so there are many concepts which we will be talking about and which we will take you through in the due course of time, be it English, be it maths, be it logical reasoning and what not. And be rest assured, we are going to have it covered for all of you out there, right? We are not going to leave you like that, right? And we will try to give you the best of the best hand holding. So just in case you people are listening and watching, just give me a shout out if you people can hear me. All right. Am I audible to all of you? I think yes, I'm audible. So any technical glitch? If you can hear me, you can say hello to me. My name is Pradip Sengupta and I welcome all of you to BYJU'S. Okay, so as you can see, we are going to be talking about one of the most important concepts in English grammar, that is subject verb agreement. In fact, I will be bringing this session to you in multiple sessions. Today, we will talk about the basic concepts of subject verb agreement. In fact, it's a very long chapter and I'm going to break it down in two parts. In the first and the second installment of this program, I will bring to you the basic concepts. And then towards the end, subsequently, we will be talking about the different spotting the error questions which we face on subject verb agreement in different exams. So without any further ado, can we start the session? I think we all are ready. You are ready. I am ready. My entire team is ready. So let's get going and see through all the basic concepts that we have to cover. So as you can see, we are going to be covering subject verb agreement. There are many parts of grammar. When I talk about grammar, right? Grammar becomes important in the English section, particularly in BBA and IPMAT, because you face quite a few spotting the error problems, spotting error problems. Okay? Then you face quite a few sentence improvement questions. These questions primarily they test your grammar techniques, they test your basic concepts, they try to check whether the fundas are in place or not. हमारे fundas जगह पे मौजूद हैं कि नहीं, and how we are going to apply them when we try to solve the questions based on spotting errors and sentence. So out of the many concepts that we will definitely talk about in the upcoming classes, today's session is going to be based on subject verb. All right. Now, what is subject verb agreement? We know that any sentence, for example, Ram plays hockey or Petal is a good singer, right? So in any sentence, what are these? These are sentences. And what are sentences? Sentences are a group of words that make a complete sense. This is exactly the definition that any grammar book will give you. So what exactly is a sentence and how do we divide the sentence so that we can understand the basic component? Okay. So a sentence primarily has the subject element. In this case, we have Ram and Sheetal. These two are the subjects. Then we have the verb element. Okay. We have the verb element, play and is. These two are verbs. And then we have the object element or the complement element. Okay, so this part together, they give you the predicate, right? And the very first part is known as the subject of the sentence, and the subject of the sentence can be a noun or a pronoun. तो वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. In subject verb agreement, the basic rule, what is the basic thought? What is the basic thought or the basic idea behind subject verb agreement? It says that the verb in a sentence must agree with the subject in number and person. किसी भी sentence में जो verb है, it has to agree with the subject, right? And how does it agree? In number, number means singular or plural, or person, person means first person, second person, or third. When I say first person, it is I or we, मतलब हम, first person. The second person is always you, and the third person is what? It is either she or he or they, it. These are the examples of third. All right. So if you are using, if we have a singular subject, then the verb used must be singular. And if we have a plural subject, then the verb used must be. So what do I mean by plural verb and singular verb? Let us understand. Now, if you look at the verb forms, there are many kinds of verb forms. All right. In this case, let us talk about the verb form. Right. We have the do verb, for example, do, does, right, or did. Did is the past form. We have the have form, as or have, right? And then we have the be form. Be form में कितने form हो जाएंगे? Is, am, are, was, were, being, been, will or will be, shall or shall be. So these many are the be form. So just in case we did not know them, now you know them. These are the forms of be. Some of the forms are plural and some of the forms are singular. So before we actually try to understand the connection between the subject and the verb, we must break the verb into two parts, the singular verb and the plural verb. Once it is clear to you, then the subject verb agreement concept will become clearer. Okay. Now, when you talk about the verb forms, एक मजेदार चीज देख लेते हैं, राइट? इसको दो पार्ट में हम लोग डिवाइड करेंगे, राइट? We will look at the singular verb and also we will look at the plural verb. All right. Hi Rajat, how are you? Welcome to the class. I hope you are doing great. Okay. So singular verb और plural verb के बारे में we were talking. So अगर हम be verb के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, then is, am, these two are singular verbs, but are is a plural verb. Okay. Similarly, was is a singular verb, but were is a plural verb. Whereas being or been or will, these verb forms can fall in either categories. They can be singular or plural depending on the circumstances. All right. Similarly, when you talk about the do form, do verb. So does, D-O-E-S, does is what? Does is singular, but do is plural, right? Now this is a very funny thing. एक छोटा सा verb form do, it is plural, but does is singular. All right. Similarly, has is singular in the have form, but have is plural. But when we talk about I, which is the first person, have is used with I, then have becomes singular. All right. So this category talks about the singular verb forms largely, and the second category talks about the plural verb forms. All right. I hope now it is clear to you what are singular verbs and what are plural verbs. Yes. Let's move on. This is our rule number one for the day. Right? What does the rule tell us? The first rule. In any sentence, if you have a singular subject, please use a singular verb. Right? A single subject always take a singular verb. For example, he plays, they play. In this case, what is he? It is singular. What is they? It is plural. Now, I know that most of the concepts you already know. So what I am doing, what I am trying to do with you people is to give you the gist of everything that we have learned in the previous classes, right? In class 6 and in class 7 and 8, whatever grammar rules we have studied, I am trying to give you a revision of everything. I will assume that you and I, we know everything, but we are just going to revise the things quickly, because when you talk about exams like BBA, when you talk about exams like CUET, when you talk about exams like the IPMAT, they are nothing but the test of basic funda. जिसके पास basic funda है, वो बिल्कुल outstanding है. So basics actually are missing. Basically, that is the basic problem. All right. So we are going to be talking about the basics. Now, what is the relevance of S? कभी सोचा आपने? Right? I play, चलो अच्छी बात है, but he plays. Why? What is the basic funda? We know that this is nothing but the simple present tense. Yes or no? But what is the relevance of S? S denotes singularity. S denotes singularity of the subject. So whenever you have the subject in the third person का मतलब he, she, all right, and it is singular, only then you will use S with the verb. And it is possible only when we express the present tense. All right. So singular subject, singular verb. Quite easily done. QED. Yes. Have you understood? इसमें कुछ समझने वाली बात है ही नहीं. Just a revision. Okay. All right. अगर वो सही है तो उसका उल्टा भी सही होगा, which means plural subject will always take a plural verb. Isn't it? For example, look at these two sentences. We are talking about we and they. What are these subjects? They are plural subjects. What is we? We is first person plural. And what is they? They is third person plural, right? And for all these subjects, we are going to use a plural verb. We pray and they play. We pray to God, they play every evening in the stadium. So whenever you talk about a plural subject, the plural. I think this funda is also clear to you. So two very important but easy fundas, which we have learned and which we have understood. Now let us move to the next part. Funda number 3. All right. Let us understand what funda number 3 tells us. Now this funda number 3 will come in two parts, A and B. All right. Okay. Now let me give you a small formula first of all. Now whenever I write X or Y, consider them to be singular. All right. But the moment I write XY or YZ, consider them to be plural. इतना याद रहेगा हमें? X is singular, Y is singular, but XY is plural and YZ is plural. Okay. So keeping this in mind, let us see what the rule tells us. The rule tells us that when you have two subjects joined by the conjunction and, right? Two subjects joined by and, okay, take a plural verb always. Suppose there are two subjects, X, Y, and in between you have and, please use a plural verb because this together, right, has a plural connotation. For example, Rohit and Varun are good friends. So over here, Rohit is X, Varun is Y. In between, you have and. So two singular subjects connected by and will take a plural verb, are good friends. Similarly, the architect and the accountant work together. The architect, let's say it is X. Accountant, let's say it is Y. बीच में क्या है and, so two singular subjects connected by and will take a plural verb. So let's go back to the rule. The rule says two subjects joined by and, the conjunction and will take a plural verb, and this is always the case. Is this understood? Yes. But is this always going to be the case? This rule, rule number 3, comes with an exception. Rule number 3 comes with an exception. Okay, what is the exception? Let us read the definition. Okay, let us read with a however over. However, two subjects joined by and take a singular verb when the idea proposed is singular. When the idea proposed is singular. Now, please try to understand what was the first case. The first case was two subjects joined by and will take a plural verb. But over here, two subjects joined by and takes a singular verb when the idea proposed is singular. It means X and Y, where X and Y are singular, it takes a singular verb if the idea proposed is one. What does it mean? Let's look at the question, the example. Time and tide waits for none. Time and tide waits for none. Now look at the verb used. The verb is singular. Do I have an agreement? Right? Now, why singular? Look at the last word, none. None refers to no one. What is no one? Is it singular or is it plural? Tell me. No one is singular. That is why time and tide together waits for no one. Over here, the verb is singular. So when the idea proposed is singular, then we must use a singular verb. This is the exception to the third rule. All right. Similarly, rice and dal is the staple meal of India. Now, what are we talking about? Rice, let's say rice is X. What is dal? Y. बीच में क्या आ गया? And together, what are they giving us? What is the idea? Staple meal. What is meal? Meal is singular. That is why we are using a singular verb. Okay, rice and dal is the staple meal of India. So over here, two subjects joined by and takes a singular verb when the idea proposed is singular. I hope this you found this concept quite interesting. This is a very interesting concept. Okay, so the first rule was X and Y joined by and takes a plural verb. In the second case, X and Y joined by and, it takes a singular verb. Two exceptions. I hope it is clear. Yes? Okay. So guys, if you are enjoying the session, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified about all these amazing videos that we make for you at BYJU'S Exam Prep. And don't forget to share it with your friends. Thank you so much. Let's look at the next rule, rule number 4. What is rule number 4? Rule number 4 tells you when you have two singular subjects, okay, again, XY खेलते हैं, XY खेलेंगे, okay, XY, two singular subjects, joined by or not, X or Y, X nor Y. What happens? We will use a singular verb in both the cases, right? X or Y, X nor Y. Kyun? What is or? When you use or, so we are going to settle down with either X or Y. Similarly, when you say nor, we are not going to settle down with X nor Y. So in both the cases, we are actually talking about one singular subject, either case X or Y. So either we talk about X or we talk about Y. In any case, we will be talking about a singular subject, yes or no? That is why whenever you have two singular subjects joined by or nor, please use a verb. For example, Sheetal nor Geeta is representing the school this year. Is Sheetal representing the school? No. Is Geeta representing the school? No. So neither of them. So Sheetal, neither Sheetal nor Geeta is representing the school this year. So I hope point number 4 is also clear to you. It talks about singular subjects being joined by or not will take a singular verb. I hope this point is clear to you. Yes or no? I hope it is clear. So this was point number 4 for us, my friends. Now, let us look at funda number 5. What is funda number 5? Okay. In the previous slide, we were talking about or nor. In this slide, we will be talking about either or neither nor. Okay. Now, these two terms, either or neither nor, what are these? They are known as correlative conjunctions. Okay? They are known as correlative conjunctions, right? Now, let me give you some of the possibilities. What does the definition tell you? The definition tells us a singular subject and a plural subject joined by or nor or either or, okay, or neither nor, will take a singular or a plural verb depending on the number of the subject closer to the verb. Depending on the number of subject closer to the verb. Confusing, isn't it? A bit confusing? Let me make it easy for you. All right? How do I make it easy for you? Let us see. Let us talk about some of the possibilities over here. Okay? Let me write down either X or YZ. In this case, where X is singular and YZ is plural. Similarly, neither XY nor Z. In this case, the first subject is plural, the second subject is singular. What happens in these two cases? Now, in these two formations, we have two different subjects. One is singular, one is plural. This is singular, this is plural, this is plural, this is singular. So what do we do? What do we do? Let's look over here. The verb agrees with the second subject. The verb agrees with the second subject. So if this is the subject, automatically it's very obvious that the verb has to be over here. The verb has to come right after the subject. So when you have the verb coming right after the subject, look at the subject placed near the verb. If the subject place is plural, use a plural verb. But if the subject place is singular, use a singular verb. And what is the condition? The condition is we are using either or neither nor. All right. The verb agrees with the second subject in number and person. Easy. Let's look at the examples. Let's understand the same thing with the help of two examples. Either the players or the captain. Either the players. This is X, Y. Why? Because this is plural, or the captain. Let's say the captain is Z, singular subject. What is the verb used? Singular verb. Why? Because the second subject is a singular verb. These two agree with each other. However, in the second case, neither Deepak nor his friends. So Deepak is XY. Deepak is X and friends is YZ. So in this particular sentence, the second subject is plural, and that is why we are using a plural verb. Right? So this should be the criteria when we are dealing with expressions like either or neither nor. The verb agrees with the second subject in number and person. I hope this rule is clearly understood. Is it clear? Have you understood? Great. Moving on to the next one. Now we are dealing with something different. This is funda number 6. What is the sixth funda? In the sixth funda, we are dealing with indefinite. Now, what are indefinite pronouns? Indefinite pronouns are those pronouns where the gender is unknown. Okay? Where the gender is unknown. For example, somebody, each, nobody, anyone, anybody, no one, everyone, whatever. These are right indefinite pronouns because it may address anybody. It may refer to anybody and everybody. Somebody can be you, somebody can be me, somebody can be anyone. Similarly, each and nobody can be anyone. But what is the funda? The funda is whenever you are using an indefinite pronoun, please a singular verb. All right? Whenever you are using an indefinite pronoun, whenever we have an indefinite pronoun in question, it must always take a singular verb. Keep that in mind. All right? For example, each of the students was assigned a task. Now, something very interesting is happening here. Let's understand this with the help of one more example. Now, the moment I say each student, or if I say each of the students, in both the cases, my friends, in both the cases, the verb is each and not students. Okay? The subject is each. I'm sorry, the subject is each. Okay? So the verb that we use over here must agree with each and not the students. So in this case, each of the students, since each is singular, we must use a singular verb. So with indefinite pronouns, we must use a singular verb. Is that understood? Yes? Okay, moving on. Funda number 7. We spoke about indefinite pronouns in the first case, in the previous slide. We will continue to speak about indefinite pronouns in this slide. Okay? But in this case, we will be talking about those indefinite pronouns that refer to more than one person. Okay? Indefinite pronouns that point out more than one. Indefinite pronouns referring to more than one. All right, like several, few, both, many, all these words, several, few, both, many, they will always take plural. They will always take plural verb. For example, both are going to be present. Few of the students are rather naughty. So few refers to plural, both refers to plural, hence a plural verb must be used over here. That was point number 7 for all of us. I hope it is clear to you. Yes? Okay. Let us now look at funda number 8, collective noun. Now this is going to be interesting. Okay, what are collective nouns? The rule says name given to a group considered as one. This is the definition of a noun, and it is the dictionary definition I'm giving you. Renan Martin says this. Renan Martin defines collective nouns like this. It's a name given to a group considered as one. So if a name of a group is considered as one, for example, fleet, isn't it? Bunch, team, what else? A pack of cards, flight of stairs, isn't it? Okay. All these are murder of crows. Yes, you heard it right. A group of crows together, they are known as murder of crows. There are many hilarious collective nouns available. So just read them out and you will have fun. So all these collective nouns, pack, flight, fleet, bunch, team, they are considered one. So when you consider the collective nouns to be one, they take singular. Okay? They generally take singular verbs. Mark my adverb over here. Mark the adverb over here. Generally, not always the case, but generally, collective nouns will take singular verbs. All right. For example, the jury has reached its verdict. So the verdict will be one. Jury is a collective noun. The jury together has reached its verdict. So we are using a singular verb. All right. But this collective noun comes with an exception. And what is the exception? Let us see what the exceptions are. Right? The exception tells you, that if a collective noun shows division, right? Or if the collective noun talks about any group that are acting individually. Mando, we are talking about a group, and in that group there are several individuals, and each individual is acting differently, right? Although we are talking about a group, but in this group there are many individuals who are acting individually. They have nothing to do with one another. They are not working in sync. They are not working together. So can we say they are putting in collective effort? The answer is no. The efforts are going haywire. in every direction. So if they are acting individually, then you must use a plural verb with the collective noun. This is the exception. All right. So whenever we are dealing with collective nouns, we have to be very careful. And we will discuss this more when we talk about, when we solve the questions in the upcoming classes. All right. Look at this particular example. The jury are divided in their views. Let's go back to the previous slide quickly. We were talking about the jury in this slide has reached its verdict. So the verdict was the result of the juries acting together, the juries acting in unison. But in this particular sentence, we find that the jury are yet to reach the verdict. Why? Because the jury stands divided. So the group is acting individually. That is why we are using a plural verb. This is the reason we use a verb over it. And look at the pronoun also, in their views. So each and every individual in the jury is being addressed, is being referred to. All right. Similarly, in this particular sentence, the team are putting on their uniform. The team has performed well. Let's look at the second sentence. Team has performed well. This sounds absolutely perfect because the team has worked in unison. The team has worked together. So together they have performed well. They have performed as a unit. But in this case, every member of the team are trying to put on their uniforms. So it shows members of the team acting individually. So that is why we have used a plural verb. So what did we learn? If a collective noun shows division, then we are going to use a plural verb there. All right. So there are many rules in collective nouns in subject verb agreement which are very, very important. And we will be talking about these rules in the upcoming classes. So if you have liked the session, please press the bell icon and comment on the session, share it with your friends, and subscribe to BYJU'S Exam Prep. Thank you very much for joining the class. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Stay tuned for my upcoming session on subject verb agreement. In that particular class, we will discuss the remaining concepts of the subject verb agreement. Till then, have a blast and keep learning. So this is Pradip Sir signing off from BYJU'S Exam Prep. See you in the next class. Happy learning and goodbye.